Good afternoon, I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. The protest by some taxi operators against sections of the road traffic bill intensified this morning as those in St. Catherine joined in demanding a meeting with Transport Minister Robert Montague. The provision which will make them liable for offences committed by the drivers of their vehicles remains the main problem. The operators say the existing arrangement to apply for badges is onerous and they can be fined up to $75,000 for driving without them. In Portmore, the taxi operators who ply various routes in the municipality temporarily blocked the intersection at the George Lee Boulevard and Dawkins Drive before the police intervened. And some taxi operators who ply the Spanish Town to Portmore route also withdrew their service, stating this will continue unless the Transport Minister meets with them. Taxi operators in the corporate area withdrew their service yesterday, say they will continue their protest until their concerns about the new road traffic bill are addressed. Among the issues they have is the high increase in fines for breaches of the Road Traffic Act. Lawmakers and other groups have defended the fines, saying that it serves as a deterrent to the rampant indiscipline on the roads. They argue that if drivers obey the road code, they will not be ticketed or fined. However, some taxi drivers believe that is not the case, as they are usually unfairly targeted by the police.
When taxi man break the law, we still get ticket. It's like for every bike where the government buy, they need for right 100,000 or 50,000 daily for pay back for the bike them.
The drivers are also asking for more respect from the police and the Transport Authority.
When all of the car them park, no gas station nah make no money. None of the people them want to sell juice, nah make no money. Enough people for reach a work, nah reach a work. Couple people at the hospital from this morning, cause no nurse can't reach a work. Enough people late for school, enough things are going. So when you think say taxi man is nobody, we go show you say we are somebody.
And members of the taxi associations and independent taxi operators are preparing to march to Gordon House this afternoon. President of the Jamaica Association of Transport Owners and Operators, Louis Barton, told our news centre this morning they hope to deliver a letter to the Speaker of the House, Pernell Charles.
In that letter, we're asking for a review or changes to be made to the new section of the law where they are requiring that owners pay for the driver's ticket, right? We're also asking that the $75,000 for not having a badge be changed. That maximum amount is excessive. So those are the changes we're asking the Parliament to review. We'll also be going to the Senate on Friday to do the same thing because they have not voted on it as yet.
The St. Thomas police are still trying to establish a motive for the killing of a woman in Yallas yesterday. The deceased has been identified as 59-year-old Melona Drysdale of Sunning Hill District in Morant Bay. Reports indicate that Miss Drysdale left home on Sunday for church, but did not return home at the usual time. Sometime after 7 Monday morning, residents saw her body floating in the Yallas pond and called the police. The cops say the body had a wound to the head. They theorized that she was struck with a blunt object and her body dumped in the pond. Classes at the Cross Keys High School in Manchester resumed this morning, with the principal insisting that the institution never had a rat infestation problem. The Health Ministry ordered the school closed on Friday. TVJ's O'Shane Masters reports.
On Friday, the Cross Keys High School was ordered closed by the Ministry of Education, which cited a rat problem. However, principal of the institution, Ralph Nelson, says rats have not been seen on any of the baits set since the closure.
We still are observing, and the public health department, they came in, they checked the tuck shop, the canteen. They haven't seen any rats. However, they have this time they have not dumped the things. They have taken away the foodstuff items that are still in the tuck shop and this canteen storeroom.
Mr. Nelson argues that teachers are disgruntled about other issues.
As I keep saying, that We don't have a rat infestation problem at Cross Keys. We just have some disgruntled teachers who are using this situation to raise unnecessary alarm. There's just some human resource issues that we have at this school that needs to be addressed.
He says while classes will resume today, cooked lunches will not be provided to students. In the meantime, JTA President Dr. Garth Anderson is supporting teachers at Cross Keys High School who complained about a rat infestation.
Sanitation generally is certainly something we are concerned about because it's not safe for our students and our teachers to operate in an environment like that. And so what all that the Ministry of Education can do and school administrators, they will have to do so to ensure that they create that safe environment for our teachers and students.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The Supreme Court has put in measures to have cases of divorce completed in a shorter time span. The court says previously the process was far too long. The reduction in the filing of a divorce has been a key area for reform for new Chief Justice Brian Sykes since he was appointed earlier this year. The details in this report.
No more long waits to get divorced because the Supreme Court has put measures in place so that persons can get a divorce in a shorter period. Speaking on TVJ's Smart Jamaica program on Tuesday, Deputy Registrar in the Matrimonial Division at the Supreme Court, Lorna Green, says that the divorce process has been reduced to 16 weeks.
If the requisition is picked up soon after it is issued, then it really ought not to take a long time. Now, the time will also depend on whether or not the persons are here or overseas. Because where you have documents that have to be signed by parties who are out of the jurisdiction, then that may take a longer process, yes.
But Mrs. Green noted that the process will take longer if there are errors on the documents, which she says is one of the main reasons for the delay.
Filing of the petition, the first stage, and you hope that the petition will come in error-free. Names of the parties are correct. Date of marriage correct, place of marriage. Sometimes that does not happen.
Okay.
And when it doesn't happen, we have to send a requisition. Now, depending on how long they take to return the requisition will also determine the time frame in which the process is completed.
She said that the Supreme Court struggled with several issues which resulted in a backlog of divorce cases and a lengthy process. But Mrs. Green explained that the problems are being addressed.
We had staffing issues.
Okay.
That is being addressed at the moment. Up to yesterday, we had 2 additional staff members assigned to the Matrimonial Division. So that will increase the time or decrease the time in which the documents are vetted. Okay. We have also hired masters. Additional masters.
Well, who is a master?
The master is one of the judges who will sign off on the documents once they are completed.
Okay.
So it's a processing flow that is now faster than before.
She says that the Supreme Court is also working on cleaning up the number of old cases, which is part of a new thrust to make the process more efficient. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, to avoid getting caught in a divorce scam, the Supreme Court is reminding persons not to pay anyone to speed up the divorce process. Speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Tuesday, Deputy Registrar in the Matrimonial Division at the Supreme Court, Lorna Green, says these actions lead to bogus divorces and a waste of money. She explained that persons should only pay for the stamp duty at the tax office.
You pay the duties that are required at the stamp office to file the petition. You do not pay the court staff for the processing of the divorce.
Can you pay that through your lawyer?
You may.
In news overseas, as parts of the U.S. state of California look to pick up the pieces after major wildfires, rain is expected to fall later this week. Officials say this could complicate the efforts of crews searching for human remains. The details from the CNN.
This is monumental. It's very, very difficult. It's a daunting task as hundreds of search crews from the National Guard to coroner investigators, firefighters, and anthropologists rush to find the remains of wildfire victims.
We brought a lot of resources in. We're going to try to get ahead of that and get as much work done as we possibly can before the rains come.
The campfire was so intense that in many areas, remains are reduced to just bone or bone fragments. And Sheriff Corey Honey is concerned the rain will complicate the search.
With the mud or the ash, now wet ash, could slow down our process.
Just utter devastation everywhere you look, and as searchers work around the clock to sift through all this debris and ash, they're putting ribbons up in areas like this vehicle to indicate that it was searched. Now, the rain causes problems because it can wash away remains, it can bury remains and turn all this debris into mud, which poses a safety risk.
There's trees in the area, as you know, that have been badly burned. They're unstable to begin with. And if they become water-soaked and heavier, there's the potential for them to be blown down.
For firefighters on the front lines, the rain brings some relief, but CAL FIRE says now is not a good time.
When we have fires come through, you lose a lot of the vegetation that holds the soils together, and you have potential for mud flow and debris flows.
The scorched hillsides are susceptible to failure, and with a flash flood watch in place,
it only takes a couple of inches of water to move vehicles, to move fire engines.
Towns already devastated, now bracing for rain.
The Ministry of Sports yesterday revealed a leadership change in one of its main agencies, the Institute of Sports. As Keon Rayner reports, there were also 2 board appointments for the Sports Development Foundation and Independence Park Limited.
Newton Amos is the new chairman of the Institute of Sports in Sports. The makeup of the board has also been reduced by 1 down to 13, with immediate past president Lloyd Bunny Pommels being taken off. The change to the leadership of the In-Sports board was disclosed by Sports Minister Olivia Grange.
Institute of Sports, there have been some changes there. The substantive chairman is now Mr. Newton Amos. He was deputy chair in the previous board with Mr. Pommels as the chair. So Mr. Amos has been acting chair for a while in the absence of Mr. Pommel. He's now the chair. Newton Amos is now the chair. And there have been some slight changes on that board.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Ronald Anderson has been promoted to the deputy chairman of the In-Sports board. Also on the board are Emil Spence, Vishu Tolan, Florette Blackwood, Dr. Michelle Holt, Marvelyn Campbell, Dr. Lee Martin, Daphne Hirsch, and Gladstone Wright. Attorney George Souter remains the chairman of the SDF board, and he'll be supported by Bunny Pommels as his deputy. However, Minister Grange explained that there has been a change in the way the SDF board is appointed, with the responsibility now being solely with the minister.
In this case, what I've done, I have reappointed most of the members. In the case of the JOA, where they had 3 representatives on the board, I've reappointed one of those representatives, and I have also kept the appointment from the JCA, Dr. Bennett. I've also reappointed him.
In the meantime, Mike Fennell and David Shirley remain chairman and deputy chairman of the Independence Park Limited Board, IPL. The other members of the IPL board are Anne-Marie Herron, Major Desmond Brown, Assistant Commissioner of Police Terence Bent, Lieutenant Colonel Roderick Rowe, Lenford Salmon, Carlton Dennis, Edward Barnes, Dr. Peter Charles, and Audrey Chin. Reporting for TVJ Sports, I'm Keon Rayner.
The first semi-final of the ISA Manning Cup competition is being dubbed a revenge match as Kingston College take on last season's beaten finalist St. Andrew Technical High School in the opening game of the doubleheader inside the National Stadium this afternoon. The 2017 semis saw Stats getting by KC 2-1 to advance to the final, where they were beaten by Jamaica College 5-3 on penalties after ending 1-1 after full and extra time. With a season of mixed fortunes behind them, including their 5-0 defeat to St. George's in the Champions Cup, Stats coach Philip Williams is confident ahead of tomorrow's rematch.
All the work that we have put into is for us to see us to making a deep run in the competition. This year is no different, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. KC is in our way just as how they were last year, and our job is to get by them. We want to be into the final, and if it's me getting by a good KC team, we're up to the challenge.
One of the pre-season favourites, Kingston College, will be looking to advance to the final after the disappointing outcome last year. Despite losing to the Stats team last year, Coach Ludlow Bernard says his team is ready for the challenge.
The team is quietly confident about their engagement tomorrow, and is an encounter that we eagerly await. As you may well know that they would have denied us a place in the finals last year, and this year we intend to, recoup what we lost then and make our place in the final. But we fancy our chances greatly, and we are excitingly confident about what will transpire tomorrow.
Captain Jadine White is back from national under-20 duties and is looking forward to the game.
This team, for some younger guys, they just seem to be mentally stronger than last year. Last year, we never feared anyone. These persons, they don't even, it's sometimes as if they don't even want to take talk from coach. So that has a whole different demeanor from the players last year, meaning that they are more fierce and they are more fighty than the others on last year.
The second semi-final will feature defending champions Jamaica College against St. George's College, with kickoff set for 6 p.m. And that's the Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for primetime news on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.